Hi guys, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nicky 1000th Time Reactions,
where we react to a song after listening to it for our 1000th time.
We release 3 videos a day,
every day.
So please click that subscribe button
and ding that post notification bell
so you don't miss out on any of our content.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to listen to right now, Nicky?
We're going to listen to Sad Songs and Waltzes by Willie Nelson. I just wanted to say, sorry, we released the second and third videos from yesterday pretty late last night, only because we had 3 shows last night that we were performing on, and we just, it was kind of hard to do everything, earlier on in the day. Anyway.
All right, if you're new to the channel...
We're doing Sad Songs and Waltzes by Willie Nelson.
Sure. If you're new to the channel, what we like to do here is listen to the song all the way through without stopping, so as not to disrupt the intention of the artist. And then afterwards, we'll discuss our reactions, go into some in-depth analysis, and talk about a little bit of the history about the song and the artist if we should know anything about it.
We also want to mention that we have another YouTube channel called Max and Nicky, on which we perform oldies tunes, jazz standards, and originals in that vein.
And we got some comedy videos on there as well. But for right now, let's take a listen to Sad Songs and Waltzes by Willie Nelson.
For our 1000th time.
Here we go.
I'm writing a song all about you, a true song as real as my tears, but you've no need to fear it, 'cause no one will hear it, 'cause sad songs and waltzes aren't selling this year. I'll tell all about how you cheated. I'd like for the whole world to hear. I'd like to get even with you, 'cause you're leaving. Sad songs and waltzes aren't selling this year. It's a good thing that I'm not a star. You don't know how lucky you are. Though my record may say it, no one will play it, 'cause sad songs and waltzes aren't selling this year. Well, it's a good thing that I'm not a star, and you don't know how lucky you are. Though my record may say it, no one will play it. Sad songs and waltzes aren't selling this year.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Actually, we covered this song ourselves. We haven't actually released an official Max and Nicky video of us covering this song, but we have done it at live shows in the past. And it's
because it is a sad song and
it's a waltz. It's a classic, just one of those classic, well-written Willie Nelson tunes that you can't get out of your head. And he's a good songwriter, not just for the strong melodies, but he knew how to write lyrics in a very succinct, just
poignant way.
He knew how to say what he was saying without being too verbose.
Loquacious or he just was honest, and it was succinct, as you say.
His voice also really helps express the lyrics. He's in an emotional kind of way. He's got just an honest. If you're thinking about an honest voice, you can look no further than Willie Nelson.
It's true. He's got a very honest voice.
He's not trying to sound like anybody else but himself.
Sure. It's kind of interesting. I mean, this sounds. This is what, from the 70s, right?
I don't know, actually.
I think it's from like 1970 or something like that, maybe.
It's one of those songs that
1973.
It's one of those songs that you might see in like a movie like Five Easy Pieces, when he's like on the road and he might have stopped over at like a diner off of the highway, just in the middle of nowhere, and you might hear that in this kind of song in a diner like that, or maybe in some kind of local middle of nowhere bar or something like that.
It's cool.
In the 70s,
it was cool to
What
hear.
was it, Ren?
1973.
1973,
Yeah. But it's interesting. You do hear, there's that steel guitar playing,
Oh, you mean a slide guitar, right?
No, you call it a steel guitar.
Right, but it is, but what's interesting is I think it's using a volume pedal, actually, because it's kind of like going in, like it kind of has this dynamic shift every time it plays, where it's kind of doing this sforzando kind of thing in a way.
Well,
right?
I think that's what. Wait a minute. Hold on.
All right.
Wait.
Well, you'll have to edit this part out right now, Max. Just keep note that you're gonna have to edit this part out.
Right.
And I'm gonna clap here just so you know this is around the time that you got to edit it out. Okay. You hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Don't forget.
Do you call it a steel guitar or a lap? I'm confused, actually. Oh, okay. So there's different types, actually. Because you would just say it's a lap. There's the lap steel, a resonator, and a pedal steel. Okay.
Yeah, I think this might be like a pedal steel guitar, right?
Oh, I was going to think of it as a lap steel guitar.
Yeah,
actually.
lap steel guitar, but don't those have pedals? Am I mistaken about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not unlike, it's the kind of steel guitar I think you would hear on, like Sleepwalk or something like that.
Sure.
Which deals with the dynamics shift a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But what was cool about that on this, I mean, that's kind of a classic country sound,
Mm-hmm.
But what was cool is, during the singing, you heard it on the left ear, but then it took a solo, and then they shifted it to the right, to the center during the solo.
Well,
and you could hear it move. You could actually hear it move back to the left ear when the singing came back.
The pedals, or the volume pedal that he's using on that, it makes it sound a little bit more progressive than just your regular country song. There's something about that kind of made it, I don't know, maybe a little, I don't want to say psychedelic, but it gave it an interesting experimental vibe.
I don't know if I would necessarily.
Maybe
agree
I'm
with
wrong.
that.
I don't know. I'm just speaking my mind right now. I don't know what I'm saying. But
There's
I like
also,
when
what
the
did make it
piano
so-
enters.
I was going to say what made it more modern sounding was the piano, actually, because the piano did not sound like it didn't have that honky tonk sound, or it didn't have like an old country sounding piano. It sounded kind of more like a grand piano, actually.
But the piano.
No, am I wrong?
No, I felt it was an upright.
You thought that?
I felt it was an upright.
I felt like it sounded very modern sounding, a more modern piano. It sounded very clear and crisp.
But I did think the piano added that extra country vibe that you want.
You thought so?
I thought
I actually
so.
thought it added a little. I mean, to me, it didn't sound. It sounded a little bit more like, oh wow, this is the production of this piano doesn't sound like something that's like old country. It sounds a little bit. It sounds cleaner sounding to me. Cleaner and
It
clearer.
was also around that time that the bass enters too, and I like that. It starts off with just him and the guitar, and that slide guitar, I guess. But when those other instruments enter, it does bring a little bit more fullness to the song, and it kind of makes you feel good, even though it's a sad song.
Well, there was also organ. It sounds like
There was organ
too.
on the right there.
On this credits here that I'm noticing though, it does say it says electric piano, but I don't know what that they're referring to there. Actually,
I don't know. Maybe it was an electric piano.
that sounded like an organ.
Maybe
to
the
me.
organ. Maybe
they're
organ,
wrong
yeah.
in the credits here.
Sure.
But because it sounded like an organ, which also is another aspect that sounds not like your typical country song. Actually,
I really like the lyrics, though, if you pay attention to them. I'm writing a song all about you, a true song as real as my tears. A true song as real as my tears. What a great line that is. Just take that apart, But you've no need to fear it because no one will hear it.
Sad songs and waltzes
aren't selling this year. That's very... What a cool, he's writing this song,
Well,
about this girl.
It's a meta kind of song in that way.
But, he's saying nobody's going to hear it because,
he wants to get back at her, kind of.
Yeah, I'll tell all the world how you cheated. I'd like for the whole world to hear, I'd like to get even with you because you're leaving.
Sure.
It's interesting. He says, I'll tell all the world how you cheated, and then I'll tell all about how you cheated. I'd like for the whole world to hear. I
like to get even with you
because you're leaving. So it's not that it's not that she's because she cheated on him, but it's because she's leaving him actually, or maybe
No, it was
because
both.
she's leaving him. He might be making up a lie that she cheated on him. I don't know.
Well, no, I don't think more
that's
like
the
this. That even though she cheated on him, he still decided to stay with her, and she's the one. The irony is she's leaving, and he's like, I want to tell everybody that, you're leaving me, and you did all these bad things. How dare you? Kind of.
But sad
Sometimes
songs
but that's clearly
sad songs and
but that-
waltzes aren't selling this year,
Right,
so nobody's going to hear it.
But at the same time, you would think, well, obviously she cheated on him because she clearly wanted to leave.
It is a meta thing because he does say.
I mean, not obviously. I guess
He says
who knows,
it's a good thing that I'm not a star. You don't know how lucky you are, but he is. Willie Nelson. It was a star at this point,
Right. That's kind of the irony in it as well, too. Is I think this was a pretty. I don't know how well this sold, but I think it was a pretty well-known song.
I wonder.
At least in country
I wonder
music,
if this is based on any true story in Willie Nelson's life, or if he just made up the lyrics. Because clearly he was famous at that point. Maybe he had written it years before. I don't know. We'll have to delve into researching that a little bit more.
Willie Nelson, before he himself became a star as a singer, he was quite a prolific songwriter.
Sure, he
and
wrote Crazy, obviously.
for Patsy Cline. That was probably his biggest, I would say his biggest hit, no?
Sure. And then, though my records may say it, no one will play it. Sad songs and waltzes aren't selling this year. I mean, that's the last verse.
Right, right. But also, I just want to mention, you could hear that guitar that he's kept forever in his life. I forgot what it's called,
Something like a Bessie kind of.
like an old Bessie kind of a thing. I forgot what the name of his guitar is, but it's this old guitar that's, I don't think it's even was it ever a very good guitar when he got it. And you can hear it in the recording here that it doesn't sound like, the strings don't resonate with the same vibrancy as like a really great guitar, but it adds to the song. It adds this sort of kind of genuine, honest kind of, there's a frailty to it too that makes it sound vulnerable. There's a vulnerability to it, and it adds, not only, it parallels his voice too. That's what's cool about his voice. There's an honesty about it because there's it has this sort of, there's kind of a frailty to it that makes it sound vulnerable.
Right.
And I think that makes it sound more honest, and like you kind of hear
in anything he sings, though.
And it makes it sound like you kind of hear sort of the pain in his voice too,
But not even just sad songs, though. I mean, if you listen to, there's an album that Willie Nelson did in the mid '70s, where he sings all jazz standards. One of the songs he sings is "Stardust." I love his version of "Stardust," actually, and that's
Well, again, there's a vulnerability to it that is very...
But if he's singing "On the Road Again," which is one of his biggest hits,
Right, that's right.
that's kind of more upbeat, but still, there's something true to there's an honesty in his voice, even in an upbeat song.
Sure.
Anyway, I think
I think that'll do it for this reaction video.
If you like what you heard and saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ding that post notification bell to find out about more Max Nicky reaction videos.
Please keep tuning in.